Hey, Tehran.
Yo, you know why it's funny? Because as we started recording, all of a sudden people started walking. The construction company decided they're gonna work.
Noise
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh! And it's like this is how we do it. Every week. I think that's why people love us, because it's a mess.
There's always something.
Well, that and of course you're listening to the impeccable, impenetrable sounds of the one and only Tehran Bangashri alongside.
Mr. GK, the ambassador of positive energy and refinement.
Okay,
Don't forget the Mr. GK.
So you're not George Corey today. You're actually Mr. GK today. And of course with
The diplomatic British chick, Miss Stephanie South, repping all you women out there.
you said it like there was more. I felt like there was more.
No, because I haven't said it for a while.
'Cause
And
I
I was
felt
like, do you know
like-
what? I really feel it today.
You said
I'm
it
like,
last week.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You say it every week.
Oh, I'm glad you're listening to me, Tehran.
Of course I am, and so are so many other people. And of course, this week's not Stephanie. Right here is.
Elisabeth South. Hi.
That was so sweet. That was
was
like
very
sweet.
sweet.
That was sweet, but anticlimactic. Like yo, she's an actress, model, Elizabeth South.
Yeah, but she's being cool about it, you know. She's gonna
You're
show
being
off.
coy. You're being coy and
Tell
humble.
everyone what you do.
That's like a thing.
I'm not sure I want to do somersaults over this, but you know. What do I do?
What do you do?
What do I do? Well, I go to the beach because this is California. No, I do radio. I'm a voiceover artist, cartoons. I act.
I like cartoons.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, he does.
cartoons
And
too.
we'll talk about cartoons today because I'm sure your top 5 list is going to be full of cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
But today's topic is why do we sexualize women and not men? And it's based on a story that's in the headlines regarding transgender men. And as they transition to women, they are posting pictures on social media. And those pictures are slowly being censored as they hit a peak, like a specific point. And so we want to talk about that. It's not about the transgender issue. It's more about the sexuality and sexualization of women as a whole. But of course, we're also going to do our regular format, which is your words of the week, of course, which I hope they're good. They better be good this week. You have our Poppin and Stoppin.
Poppin or Stoppin Yeezy boosts.
Oh yeah, you've been dying for those. You've been dying for those for a little. Top 5 or top 5 this week is
Top 5 magical mystical lands you'd like to visit to.
just mythical, like any fictional land. What did you say?
Magical, mythical,
Okay. all right.
Mystical as well.
and mystical.
And
all
mystical.
3.
Okay, and our what would you do if?
What would you do if you're on a date and your date kept texting the entire time?
Yeah, that sounds like something you would do. Actually, that sounds like something you would do. And then we're gonna each have a song that stays on replay this week, and our Imperfect Gentlemen of the week this week. You guys got to stay tuned in to figure out. And while we start, I do want to know one thing from everyone here. Question for you: how come cereal has never just used Ziploc bags for the bag? Like, if you get a bag of cereal, how come they just don't have Ziploc?
Because it's too expensive.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just too expensive to have the whole.
Ziploc bags are like a cent.
So
like
then you
can
buy it. Why is the company buying it?
They're-
The consumer should buy it.
Because it's annoying that you have to. I'm eating cereal today, and you're like, still, after all this
I
time.
know why. Oh my god, I've got it. It's because then you'd keep it for longer. It wouldn't go off. Therefore, you wouldn't buy another box.
What, doesn't the box keep it from crunching though?
No,
Like,
not the
smash it?
crunch. I'm talking about like it goes
The
stale.
inside.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
goes
So it goes stale, so you buy more.
Mr. GK.
I don't care if it's Ziploc or not because the toys I get inside are wrapped airtight.
Okay, thank you. That is actually a good point. Why are the toys airtight? Like they're gonna go stale.
Well, that goes back to Stephanie's point.
Yeah.
No, they're probably keeping it separate from the cereal itself so that it's not. No, they're not even in the same package. Like the toy is inside the box. The cereal is separate from the box, right?
No, it's
cereal
like a
store is
hidden
it?
treasure.
Yeah, I just don't know.
No,
Or
there's
is this
cereal.
Cracker Jacks or
No, there are cereals that had toys.
Like what?
I remember
Name
when I
one.
was like 7, there were cereal.
name
Kellogg
one?
cornflakes used to come with toys. I knew that.
Fruity
for-
Loops.
Kellogg's corn,
kind
sugar
of
flakes,
toys?
frosted
What
flakes,
kind of
frosted
toys?
Pebbles.
Who is
Like
eating these cereals
Cinnamon
anyway?
Toast Crunch.
What toys?
Kids.
We're
Cinnamon
adults.
Toast Crunch. Now, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's my favorite cereal of all time, and it doesn't have toys.
Yes, it did. Their special edition box for
Yeah.
the Olympics.
Okay, maybe a Special Olympics box. Okay, but I just don't understand why they just don't use Ziploc so it doesn't. It keeps the cereal fresh.
Because then you won't spend the money buying a new pack of cereal. That's the only reason.
I think
surely.
she's right.
How, whoa, we don't just because she has an English accent. Look, everyone who has an English accent, everyone just assumes it's right.
I mean, I assume it's right.
Hold on, say that in an English accent.
I assume it's right.
Was that a good
Wait,
idea?
that was
Good.
is that Australian?
No, it wasn't at all.
All right,
That's it.
hold on. I assume it's right.
Why? You just sound like a weird animal.
That
You
is
didn't
not.
sound
That
like
is
it.
how you sound
But
to
you
me.
do
Oh
body
my
language
God,
weird.
it's so fabulous.
Considering you say that every week, you should be improving.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It sounds. Hold on, Mr. GK.
I have an observation.
Oh, can you do an English accent?
But before, I just want to say that Elisabeth and Stephanie together look like Christmas because she has red hair and Stephanie has a green dress.
Okay, all right.
Holiday edition. Imperfect G show.
No bush after that? Okay, so do the English. I want it. What was the line? What was our line?
What did you say? I think it's right.
I think it's right.
I think it's right.
You just sound the same.
Hold on. Was that anything different?
That was
That's his accent. That's Mr. DK's accent.
That's right.
But yeah, just because you have an English accent doesn't make you right. Like, just because you said it with such English authority doesn't mean that you're more right. Like,
I was the only one that said anything, to be honest.
because I had a question. And like, you're like, well, it's too expensive. And yet, Ziploc bags are really cheap, even when we buy them, right? They're the only thing
No, it's
cheaper
like-
than Ziploc bags is cup of noodles.
They're kind of expensive though.
They're like
Ziploc
$3
bags. Yeah,
for
it's
like 20 or something.
What? Where are
You
you
can tell
buying?
it's
Yo,
cheaper.
No,
have
it's
you
true.
never been to the
Okay.
dollar store? The
The
dollar
dollar store?
You don't have to get Trader Joe's organic.
But the dollar store, they don't,
Target.
Yeah.
they don't have the Ziploc per se. They have the two sides that seal together, which doesn't
That's
constitute
Yeah,
the
that's not the.
Ziploc.
I want Ziploc.
They don't work. The
I want
Ziploc
the
is
Ziploc.
it's expensive. It's like putting a zipper on your fly.
Yo, but
you know?
cereal's not cheap. You buy.
I think so.
You
I
buy.
only know that because my zipper fell off my pants. I went to the dry cleaner and they charged me $16.49 after tax to replace the zipper.
That is actually
Next
kind
time
of
he's going to use a
expensive.
Ziploc bag. Like,
Why? How did your
Yes.
zipper fall off your?
Well,
pants?
since I was a child, I've had a big issue with remembering to zip my pants.
Oh,
My
that
mom
is
used to yell
true.
at me.
Did you get caught in your pants one time?
Yes, and my friend who was a paramedic had to come apply Neosporin into my pee-pee.
Yeah, that is true. That is a true
Did
story.
that cause like long-term damage?
I don't know. I think.
You still don't know?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah, if you don't know.
You guys have figured it out.
No, but all I'm saying is this. Okay? As it goes for zippers, which I don't know why zippers are so expensive either. But at least they're made out of metal. Ziploc is made out of plastic. It should be cheap, and I feel like it should be on every cereal. And I think I get a whoosh for that. Yeah, I whoosh
This
that.
sounds like the construction.
Yo, but mine's like a remix. It's like the whoosh.
And this is me receiving it.
No, stop doing stuff like that. He's not receiving anything I'm whooshing. That has never been a situation,
You're
guys.
giving him a gift and he's receiving
No,
it.
okay, Steph, you're gonna stop that right now.
Thank you.
Stop encouraging.
Does Tehran need a spirit hug?
No,
No,
he does not.
I'm sorry,
He
I'm with
definitely
Tehran
does
this
not.
one.
That's the thing. I do not.
So,
Going through the news today, I don't know if you guys saw. First of all, Perez Hilton was in the news for taking a shower with his 2-year-old son. He posted pictures, and then people jumped all over it, saying like, "No, this is like it's enabling
so I have a question.
pedophilia." and-
What kind of pictures did he post?
He just, no one was, he was just
Nothing.
a top. It was a top of him, and his son was on his shoulder, and they were just in the shower.
Right,
It was-
okay.
It was cute. It was like nothing lascivious about it. I saw it was. It's like a parent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think, yeah. I think
Whoa,
it's
whoa! Are we
scary.
gonna act like she didn't just use a huge word? Are we gonna act like that? Like lascivious? When was the last time either one of you used lascivious?
Well,
in
I
a
believe it is
Yeah.
a synonym of peculiar.
I think it's like sexually exploitive, but yeah, kind of like the same
Yeah,
thing.
great
sentence?
word.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa! Listen,
I majored in literature.
Yeah.
My vocab radar is flaring right
Yeah.
now. You're really smart.
Yo, she's like she.
It's the only word I use except for big. I try to put it in every
Lascivious.
conversation.
I like
You
it.
throw it
You
in
look
there.
quite lascivious today.
Lascivious.
It sounds
Sexually
like a great
exploitive?
compliment.
What, who are you talking to? Like Russian pimps who are like sex trading? Like who are you speaking to? Who look lascivious?
I feel like the last person I said it to was you when we walked in here
I
today.
might have been
With
lascivious.
this robe,
I do have a
feel like it's a
bathrobe.
little bit lascivious.
I do have a
Can
bathrobe.
you do your
Feeling.
lascivious bathrobe trick?
No. So if you saw the photo, personally, I didn't think anything was wrong with it. In fact, it was very sweet. In fact, I thought Perez Hilton was gay until I saw.
I thought he was gay too.
Is he
no?
not gay, or is he
He's
gay?
not
He
gay.
could be gay
He's
with a
gay.
kid. I don't know,
He's
but
gay. He's a single parent.
oh, okay.
no,
See,
Two
yeah, I didn't know.
children. It
Oh,
was
okay.
like an egg donor, and they carried it in a.
That I mean,
Awesome.
whatever the case is, and it's not like I just thought when I said gay because it was like it's his son, and of course my automatic thinking was like, yo, I was like, is he like
But he's never
married?
been
I
out
said-
before that. I didn't realize.
I didn't even know he had kids.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
true.
sure that
We
was like
talked
a deal too, but the pictures were cute. They were sweet. They were like adorable. In fact, I wish more dads loved their kids that much.
Yeah.
My dad,
Let's just leave things
I don't know, that would be
being
weird.
innocent sometimes. Yeah? Let's not
Exactly.
corrupt everything.
And which is going to our topic today because that's something we're gonna get into. But also, like, I don't know if you guys have pictures like stuff like this with your dad. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it's just you and your dad. Like I have
I
pictures.
don't. But maybe it's different
But
because
you're
you're a girl.
Well, I didn't say this. Like I didn't say I had a picture of my dad giving me a blowjob. I said just cute pictures, Mr. GK.
I have a picture from when I was younger taking a bath with my bunny.
Your bunny?
I had a bunny.
Was it
You were-
real?
No, he was 14.
Was
Don't
it
encourage
fur?
It was bunny, yeah.
Your parent let
You were
parents
younger.
let
You
go
were
to the bath with your
14 years
animal?
old.
So, I mean,
Why
that's
are you a
normal-
14-year-old boy taking a bath in the first
It's a
place?
normal age to have a bunny, and the bunny Roger was his name. He loved the bubbles.
Was it? It was furry though, so it was like soaked in.
Well, no, I would kind of have him in my arms, held above so he wouldn't drown or anything, and just kind of.
He just got a little sudsy.
When was the last time you took a bath, Steph?
Oh, back in it like a year ago.
A year ago?
3 days ago.
3 days? I feel like girls take baths, but
I
guys
just,
really
yeah,
don't.
I just don't have a plug.
I don't know if it's like, I don't want to be,
Use
because
the
now
towel.
we're going to be like, yo, sexual, put your hand down, George. Sexually orientation is like, oh no, it's not like girls or guys. Like, I would take a nice relaxing bath, but I just, A, don't have the patience, and B, don't know if I really feel like a guy, like, as a guy, that I should be taking lavender bath.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
That's insane.
Why do you
Yeah.
think?
Okay, why did you
Mr.
have
GK.
lavender into it?
Well, first of all, lavender ice cream is my favorite flavor, and secondly, I took a Himalayan salt bath last night.
Did
Wow.
you?
Did
The
you
big
like
pink
detox?
crystals.
Yeah,
And that's exactly why I don't think guys should be taking baths, because Mr. GK takes baths. So when you're taking baths with Himalayan salt, when you're purchasing things like Himalayan salt, like I think a real guy shouldn't even know what a duvet is. Like I don't need to know. It's a blanket. You know what I'm saying? I have a blanket.
I think that's pretty sexist of you to be honest.
Is it sexist
Yeah.
or is it? But here's the thing, because we have a situation where we're looking at a society where now it's like if you're not blurry in the line, almost if you're not feminine, you're not right. Like maybe I feel like I want to be this kind of guy, and if you want to be that kind of guy, then that's the kind of guy you
So
want to
now
be.
you're feeling like the outsider.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
So
Like
macho.
I even feel like even to a point where being straight is not accepted. Like everyone, and I do live in West Hollywood, which actually helps the city. But like I feel like everyone's like, oh, being gay is right, and then being straight, like, yo, why don't you be gay and I'll be straight
Do you know
and
what I
it's
think?
okay.
Actually, it's very fashionable at the moment to just be open, to be about the person, whether it be male or female, just to go with the flow and be open. And I don't know. I think that's
Because everything is like, oh, that's sexist. Or like we have a whole group of feminists that are like, oh, well, any woman that wants to be like a housewife, they're not real women. But what if I am a woman and I actually want to be a housewife?
Yeah.
Then isn't that what feminism is about? Is like empowering women
I
to do
think so.
whatever their
What
choices
they
are?
want to
Whether
do.
it's being a stripper or being a porn star or being a housewife or being a cook or being a person who likes to
Yeah.
clean
I think
or
so.
a
Making
mother.
a choice and being proud of
Yeah.
that choice and unashamed.
Yeah. Mr. GK.
Last week, I told the lady over the phone that I aspired to be a house dad, and she didn't call me back.
It was a telemarketer, George. Like it was a telemarketer who was trying to sell you.
Well, don't telemarketers always call?
They do, but I don't think she was expecting. She was like, "Hey, how are you?"
She was following
And
a
then-
script.
Yeah,
And you just
she
threw
it
her
was
off.
just questions she was asking.
Well, I mean, maybe she'll call again. I'm gonna check my phone.
He felt a connection. He was like, "I liked her voice."
What did she start off asking you? Now I'm kind of curious.
Well, I recently got a home line in my apartment. Before I only had cable and Wi-Fi, and I decided to add the home line because it feels a bit professional to have a landline phone. And she was calling, inquiring about mortgages. And I was like, first of all, because my apartment is listed as a home address, so she thought I was a homeowner. And I read my apartment.
So that was your intro into I want to be a house dad
Yeah, well,
someday?
I was explaining to her that, yeah, you know, I'm in an apartment now, actually, so I don't have a mortgage, but one day I aspire to be a house dad.
And then she was like, "What is a house dad?" And he was like, "A man that stays at home while his wife works, because I feel that's the step towards gender equality." And she just hung up.
Yeah, she hasn't called back since. I mean, what if I need her services one day? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Janet Monroe, if you're watching this, please call George back. He wants to talk to you more about a mortgage he doesn't have or need for right now. But I feel like, what do you like in the conversation of the assigned roles, right?
About what do you mean, like?
Well, I feel like if I want to be a guy, right? Now it's like, oh, oh, look at you, you're gonna be that guy. Like, how come I can't be that guy, but everyone else can be that
No,
person?
it's who you are individually. I think the issue is stemmed from people who felt like they couldn't fit into the norm. So now it's like, you know, they want to be who they are, and it's not like you need to aspire to be that yourself. Just be who you are. It's a movement for individualism, you know? To me, it's not about sexuality. It's not about being transsexual or gay or straight. It's just about we're all just souls inside of flesh, you know, a body. I don't know who you are inside, but that's who you have to be.
Mhm.
So if you're a man's man, you are so manly, by the way.
Yo,
So manly.
Doesn't even get changed.
Yeah,
Everybody's
rolls out of
so
bed.
manly.
He's so confident. But
right here.
I think you should just continue to be you.
The way I feel about the bathrobe is I will never be as beautiful as either one of you two. So at least I'm gonna be comfortable.
Wait, you
Aw,
won't,
that
so
was
you
so
should be
sweet.
comfortable.
He's being sweet
That's
today.
I'm not
very
being
sweet.
sweet.
That's
He's
I'm not being
nice.
sweet. I'm being honest.
Compliment.
Stephanie's very beautiful. Just because I hate her doesn't mean she's not beautiful.
Why do you hate Stephanie?
I hate Stephanie
She's
because
still complimenting.
she's my Stephanie. You know what I'm saying? That's how I love.
Watch this. I hate you, Stephanie. See, it doesn't work when I say it,
Yo, she's like, what is that? You should have yelled at him, right? Like, yo, what's wrong with you, George?
but I love Stephanie.
That happens all the time. So whenever George and I are out somewhere, I'll say something and everyone think it was funny, and then George will like even laugh and they'll be like, George, you're so insensitive.
I get yelled at for
Why
what
would
he
you-
says.
And they're laughing, and they'll be like, George, you really laughed at that? And you're like, no, but you were laughing.
So unfair.
Also
Speaking
in the
of
news-
equality.
Oh, with the equality, yeah, you and I are not like socially equal because we have different characters. Like we were talking about the individual. What'd you say? What was the word?
Individualism.
Individualism.
Great word.
That's my dictionary for big words right now. The individualism goes, my individuality is that I get to be a douchebag. And then yours is that you have to be a sweet guy. And the thing is, when you're not a sweet guy, which is only when you laugh at my douchebagness, people get upset at you, George.
Yeah.
But they
I
expect it
think
from
it's
you.
because it's unexpected. It's like, oh, that hurt.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a thing.
Whereas
And it's,
with him all the time, it's just constant. I'm like
But-
so used to it. I'm
You
just,
see how you lit up when he said, I hate you, Stephanie? And when I said it, you were like really offended.
You know why? Because it means he actually cares about me. He actually feels something.
So
See,
I don't,
He
here's the
doesn't
thing.
feel that
so
often.
I don't care about you?
No, but you
It's
care
not
for
that.
everything.
see,
Oh!
you do. And so it doesn't, it's not as special because you're nice to everyone.
I
and
do
I say
have
that
a
all the
hierarchy
time.
of caring. You and Tehran are towards the top of the pyramid.
Towards the top, who's higher than us, bro?
Well, I'd hate to be honest on the show, but Tehran and my mommy are on the top. But you're right underneath
Okay.
Tehran and my mommy.
It's fine.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to make sure Steph and I are on the same level there. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, it's like there is a hierarchy of socialism, sociality. Like, am I making up words? Hold on. What's the word I'm looking for?
Socialism was
Socialism. Hold on.
Sociality?
No. Hey. Neither one of you didn't even know what lascivious meant. Okay.
I was close.
I
Lascivious.
think it's syphilis.
Okay, whatever it was, you guys don't ruin my thing with Elizabeth. Okay, so look, the whole thing is when people, and I know on the outside I act like I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But deep down inside stuff, you know, I don't give a fuck. Like, you understand? I don't care. Like when I'm like, because people always try to explain to me how I don't understand something. And I'm like, I understand very well. You understand? I have a IQ of 167, easy. Like, I graduated, I was valedictorian. Then I went on to get a double undergrad degree in government international politics and in communications with a minor in religious philosophical studies. Then I said, hey, you can yawn all you want, but I have a master's in econ and Georgetown law degree. If there's one thing I do very well, it's I understand. I just don't care. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
a chip on your shoulder right here. I'm just gonna take it off.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, still don't care. And the thing about that is this, okay? The point is that everyone always tries to explain to me how I don't understand something because I don't care. Like, we had a friend recently who actually had a very tragic loss, you know what I'm saying? And we went to the candlelit vigil. It was yesterday.
Okay.
Like, what happened was, and here's the thing, I can't help it. Because I'm not good in these situations, okay? This is how I deal with stuff. I cope with laughter.
So you're one of these people in uncomfortable situations. You
I laugh all the
inappropriate
time.
And laugh.
It's not it's my coping mechanism for something. Mr. GK.
The only light in the situation was it kind of brought people together, brought a community of people together. Even I had a friend who I didn't know was friends with the lady who passed, and she was there. And we hadn't seen each other in a year, and we shared this bond of love for the same person. And I actually hugged her and held her tight, and then her makeup was all over my designer shirt. So that part wasn't okay. But the positive part was that, it did bring people together, and you just have to cherish every moment with the people you love, which is why I do love everyone, Stephanie, but people are special to me. Spirit hug.
Don't touch me.
That's a physical hug. That's not like really spirit hug.
Yeah, it's
right?
spirit hug.
Well,
Just
Hey,
hugs.
Elizabeth.
Well, because of the placement of your body's chakras, you have to be
God.
face to face, exactly parallel for your chakras to
I
connect.
tried to tell you to not say anything. Please. Spirit hug. Thank you, George. Thank you. I'm just saying, like,
Sorry, I got a little emotional.
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of things I understand, but I just don't care about. Like, when people tell me their grandmother who was 98 died, and then they're really sad, and I'm like, what did you think was gonna happen? You thought this bitch was gonna live forever? Like, was she just gonna live
But
indefinitely?
even
Why
though you
does
know
it have
it's
to be
going
a
to
big
happen,
word?
it can still hurt. Like,
I mean, yeah, but
It's
who
making
does
it
it hurt
easier.
for? Does it hurt for you as the individual? Because it's selfish for you to, like, not mourn, but to, like, those people that keep people on life support or whatever, and they're like,
Right.
yo, it's selfish, because if that person's in pain and you're, like, making them feel guilty or bad for feeling like they're sick, they're accepting, and you're crying, then it's selfish because you can't let go. It's not because they can't let go. The reason the candlelit vigil was different is because our friend lost when his friend, like this girl that he was, like, dating or something, and she was young. And I was like, yo, it's untimely. It wasn't like, and she didn't die from, like, a disease or she got hit by a car. It was like a hit and run. It was like a crazy incident. And so because it was a crazy incident, that's why I went and showed support, because I can understand that. And even though I didn't specifically care about that person, I cared about my friend. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I went. But I didn't know the other person. If I'm going to be sad for everybody that dies that I don't know, I'm going to be sad all the time. Every day, 1 million people die all the time that I don't know. Like, I just would have to be sad all the time. So when people come up to me and they're like, yo, oh man, I'm so sad. Oh, this kid I knew died. Oh man, what am I gonna do? I'm like, oh, does that mean we're not gonna go to Rite Aid, or what's going on?
but that's your experience of the situation. You can't feel how someone else feels.
I'm not a sympathetic person. I'm an empathetic person, but I'm not very
Sure.
sympathetic. Because I understand that's just life. Like, that's life. That's
You
how I
don't
feel
have to
about
be sad for them, but you can understand, let them be sad,
Yeah,
not be
you can
like,
let
why are
them-
you sad?
exactly.
No, but I'm not like, I am like, why are you sad when it's someone that's supposed to have passed? Like, yo, you mean to tell me your 98-year-old grandma who had 4 different types of cancer, you're now sad? Like,
You can be sad and relieved at the same time. Maybe they're relieved
but
that
they're
she's-
not. They're like, why did this happen? And I'm like, yo, come on, bro. You really, nigga?
Like,
Like,
still, it is impossible to avoid being sad after you experience the loss of someone who is very close to you. I mean, to some extent, you're going to miss that person's presence.
yeah, I guess that's because I don't really miss people.
Jeez, I hope you die before me. No offense.
But one time, Tehran was on a 4-week vacation, and he never calls me, and he called me, and I said, you miss me, don't you, Tehran?
I needed you to pick me up from the airport, George.
Yeah, but that's still a form of missing me, right?
Yeah.
No, you were supposed to pick me
You
up.
missed your services.
Yeah, I missed the fact that you were supposed to pick me up from the airport. I had coordinated this with
You
you.
can't even Uber into the airport. So
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
screwed.
So I was like stranded, and you were like,
Would it have killed you to play along and acted like you missed me, Tehran?
"Oh yeah, dog. Hey, you know what? No, yeah, it would have because I didn't miss you. Like, I needed a ride from the airport.
Stephanie, you're now parallel to Tehran at the
Sorry.
peak of my
Whoa,
career.
Whoa, hey, take that back. Take that. Hey, remember you said that though. Do you want to remember you
I take
said
it back.
that?
I take it back.
Exactly. So in other stories, we just found out like last week that Stephon Marbury, who was a point guard in the NBA, used to play. Like, he went overseas now. He had these shoes called the Marburys, and they were for $10 and $15. And even though they were like cool looking shoes, people used to make fun of them because they were so inexpensive. Even though they actually made in the exact same factory the Jordans are made, with the same materials and everything. So he's bringing these shoes back, and hopefully they'll do well.
Were they popular back then?
They were never popular. People used to make
Wow.
fun of people who had these shoes.
Okay.
Mr.
Well, I
GK.
have an experience I want to share with everyone. When I was younger, my family didn't have a lot of money, and kids were wearing expensive Jordans to school, and I couldn't afford them. So my mother took me to Payless, and they had the Shaq shoes. And I wear a size 14, and for some reason, they only made Shaq shoes in larger sizes. And I bought those shoes, and people made fun of me, but I thought they looked really cool. So you know what? I hope his shoes come back. I hope they do really well, and I hope people start accepting cheaper shoes. Cheaper does not mean worse.
I think times have changed quite a lot that we like a bargain these days. I think it's quite fashionable to get a bargain. I think these shoes are going to do well.
Yeah, when they didn't get canceled like 20 years ago. It was like literally like 2 years ago, and then he's bringing them back. So
He hardly went away then. How can he say he's bringing them back? They were never gone.
I don't know. I'm surprised it was just 2 years ago because I think millennials and like this generation are really into like Tom shoes and things, something that gives back and something that means something.
Toms are expensive. They're not cheap.
No, but it gives back to like charities and things like that. I forget he has a certain charity, right?
Yeah.
I think they help someone like a kid in Africa gets a pair of shoes.
So they get a pair of shoes.
Inopportune children get shoes.
Yeah, like every Tom you buy means that some kid in Africa also gets shoes, which I would love to be able to verify. Like from now on, Toms, I want a picture of that freaking kid. I want a picture of that kid smiling in his shoes. I don't want him to be like, I don't like these shoes. No, I want him to be super excited about the shoes he has.
I don't know. I think they have a chance. Who knows? It depends on their media. Depends on the advertisement and the way they position everything. Everything is about what you feel. Is it cool? Is it not cool?
I mean, it's all about like marketing. But the thing is, and it's even sadder because this is kind of like in the urban, which is like the code word for black, really, like the urban population. And in the urban community, like even if you speak English well, other kids make fun of you. If you don't have Jordans that are like $300 shoes. Like I've seen kids get on the bus and they have Beats headphones, they have an iPad, they have a Louis Vuitton backpack, they have
what
like
bus are you watching?
Hermes. I'm serious. They get on the bus, they have Hermes belt, Jordans, and then don't have a car. Like because that's the mentality. The mentality is, oh, if it's not expensive, then it's not acceptable. And that's really how we are as a society because we're like purchasing all these Louis Vuitton this and like Hermes that and Gucci that. And
I was never allowed any brand stuff as a kid. In fact, we got this one sweater from Iran, and it had like Adidas, Louis Vuitton, Hugo Boss. It had about 1 million different makes in it, and yeah.
That's actually
I
popping.
got
I would
ripped
rock
into for that.
That sounds cool.
No, it was bad.
I would rock that.
I would rock it.
I would rock it now. I have a shirt I made. It's like it has the Chanel number 5, and it has FUCK with the Chanel logo and like different logos, and then Givenchy at the bottom, but
Did you
with
get it
the
from around
cheat.
too?
No, but, no, I made it, and it's got the cheat, and it basically says no fucks given. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, brand names or whatever. It's whatever you like. And I understand with millennials, you were saying like, but at the same time, people are still like that. It's a mentality.
Yeah.
Mr. GK.
I think also in this situation, when it comes across as a knockoff and not something that is unique and original, more people are less inclined to accept them. So for example, me getting the Shaq shoes, well, there's already these Jordan shoes, which are amazing. But something like Tom Toms, which is a unique idea, or even H&M, and they're not trying to go after Kenneth Cole or something like that. It's more acceptable because it's unique.
Yeah, H&M makes everyone look like a supermodel now.
Yeah.
Everyone's stylish now because of H&M.
Including me.
Elizabeth, by the way, don't let us hijack conversation. If you feel like jumping in,
I
jump in.
I'm so
don't
shy.
No,
Sorry.
don't be shy. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is just, look, what we do on the shows, we have a conversation, and it's the show where we say everything that people are afraid to say, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys at home follow us on Twitter at
Imperfect G Show.
Email us your ideas, topics, any opinions you have.
ImperfectGshow@gmail.com.
Make sure to watch us on YouTube.
YouTube.com/Imperfect Gentlemen.
Download us on iTunes. Look, we have like a download us on iTunes.
No,
we're download us on iTunes because we're on a new
You
day.
jumped her,
Every
bro.
week I just try.
No,
I've got two
no,
words. That's all I have.
bro,
Share and subscribe.
What I'm
3
saying?
words.
What's your
Share and subscribe. That's
Say it.
all I have. And every
Say it
week
again,
they
say it
just
again.
share and subscribe.
Share
and subscribe.
Share and
please.
subscribe, please. Please. No, but that's,
You
I mean, make sure you down, because we're on Tuesdays now. So I wanted people to know that we're now on Tuesdays. It was Wednesdays, but now we're each and every Tuesday live on Periscope at 2-ish Pacific Standard Time.
And then our podcast goes up on iTunes in the evening time.
Exactly. So you guys can get that jump before the Wednesday rush to get all our social media and all our iTunes and downloads and stuff. And of course, here, say your words.
What are they again? No, share and subscribe. How can I forget?
So that's the thing. And with mentality, the biggest story that I wanted to talk about today is his name is Caden story. I don't know if you guys followed this on the news, but it's a picture. Basically, there's this white guy, right? Like, I forget his name. And then he took a picture, and there's a black kid behind him. And he posted on his Facebook. and everyone started making these. When I say everyone, I mean his white friends started making very racist comments as comments on it, and his only comment in his defense or in his actual retribution of any kind is he is feral, which feral basically means he's wild or something, which is not the nicest thing to say about someone else's kid. And it's a co-worker's kid who she brings him to with her to work, often, and he took a picture, and then everyone made the rudest comments like, "Where's his master? I didn't know you owned slaves. I pay 25 cents a day," things of that nature. Like, and it was just like this nice looking, cute black kid.
Whereabouts is this? Where was it based?
It was in Atlanta.
Atlanta, which is predominantly a black place, right?
But Atlanta, like many cities in America, is still very segregated. Let's not act like America is desegregated because of Board of Education 1954. Let's be real. Like, when I say Compton, you think what race people?
Black people.
Exactly. Inglewood,
Black people.
East LA,
I don't know.
Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very segregated.
Sure.
Like
And
Beverly
Atlanta's
Hills.
like that. Iranians.
Exactly, Persians. I just want to throw that out there. Ballin'. But like, yeah, it's like very segregated. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't think the point here is about segregation, and yeah, it was racial, but I think it's something that's just really continual online with like bullying. I mean, or like anything. You post something and people are terrible. I mean, they're mean. They say the worst things. To celebrities, to everybody. Everybody online just gets really mean. And these people were just like ignorant jerks. But there's a ton of ignorant jerks that, because I hate how it's turning into a white and a black thing.
It is a white and a black thing.
Yeah, and I know, but it adds fuel to the fire, and like instead of
No. And that's got to be a part of white privilege. It is a black and white thing. It's for the people who say that racism is dead. It's for the people who say, "Oh, why do we have to make this about race?"
Racism isn't dead for any culture, but you have different
about
cultures.
race. Because they didn't do this. It was a black kid, and they these aren't racists. These aren't KKK members. These weren't people who are like lynching black. These are educated, middle class, white America who felt it was okay to make racist remarks. And these are the same people who, when they're about to hire someone, look at a resume with a black name and pass it over. These are the same people that basically complain about welfare recipients being black when, technically speaking, 67% of all welfare recipients are white. These are the same people that don't pay extra taxes because they don't feel like obligated to have education in black neighborhoods, but then want to give black kids higher sentences for crimes when they go and then give them more time in jail. This is why. It's like, it's a world that isn't equal. If it was like, because you brought up a bigger point, which is people are just attacking all celebrities. But this
but there's
is
race on
race.
every side. I'm saying, like, you have different cultures and different groups within the United States, within the world, who hate each other, and you're going to get that no matter where you are, and it's awful. But what's your solution?
But there's no other race that dominates the system like white people do, especially in places like the Western world and America. There's no other place. Like, even when it's a dominant situation, they just don't have the economic power or world power or political power to make any type of actual effect. That's why it's hard to be like, reverse racism. Reverse racism doesn't exist. Like, you can't be like, oh, how come there's a BET but there's no WET? Why is there no white entertainment? Or why is there an LGBT community center and not a straight community center? You know why? It's the same reason why you don't get a thunderbolt and a lightning and a speed up thing in Mario Kart. If you're in first place, you don't need the help. That's why. Like, we're not affecting nothing black people or Middle Eastern people or Hispanic people say affect white people in a systematic situation like the way that could affect us. Because we're just not in that position.
What are you saying in this situation though? Are you saying it's a race situation or it's like an attacking online? What are we trying to achieve here? Stopping bullies online or
I think it's racism in this case.
I think the two are connected, for what both of you just mentioned, because when you go out in public, you don't see as many of these blatantly racist remarks being made from person to person in public as you do online. And I believe that the internet is very revealing and very telling of the suppressed racism that still exists, a lot of which is systematic, which Tehran is referring to, the mentality of oh, if there's a white male and a black child in a photograph, that black child is a starving African kid that needs to be fed by the white man. And these were a huge majority of the comments being made, which is absurd.
And it was horrible.
They were almost equating the photo to one of those commercials you see on TV, the advertisements to raise funds for starving children. It was, why can't a man take a picture with his friend's son? And why can't it just be that?
100%. And the thing that happened was, his comment wasn't, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt and say his comment wasn't racist. But what was racist is something he did that I feel like a lot of white people do. Silence is compliance.
The fact that he
didn't
allowed the
say
comments,
anything.
he didn't delete the
He
comments.
Or he
or
could have
said
just simply
that's
been
wrong.
like, hey, why are you guys saying stuff like
Yeah,
this?
like,
That's not cool.
That's wrong.
And
Say
it would have been a
something,
totally different thing.
And where was it? Was it on Facebook?
It was on Facebook.
So these
Oh,
are friends of his.
Was it on Facebook? Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook.
These are friends of his.
These
Yes.
are friends
Why
of
are you
his
friends
on
with people like that?
Birds of a
Yeah.
feather flock together. I'm not saying that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he wasn't racist. I don't even care. That's besides the point. What it is it's three-pronged, because now you brought up a very good, interesting point about online bullying, which is also a very good point, is that people love saying horrible things to each other online like it's
Because
okay.
they can
Absolutely.
hide. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's-
anonymity.
Well, you know,
Did I say that word?
Anonymity.
Yeah, that.
it's,
Yeah,
you know, the online climate of memes or media clips is for there to be about 80% poking fun at whatever's there. That's just this culture that our generation has cultivated online. It's just to write negative things. I mean, very rarely do you see something where the majority of the comments are positive. Like, look how amazing this person looks. You're usually seeing a joke or a screenshot of a video and then another joke to go with it. And you know,
people want to say the worst thing. Like
the
that's,
worst thing. And then in real life, we're not going up to people and saying these horrendous things to
Well,
their faces.
I mean, sorry, guilty.
You're a comedian.
But yeah.
And that's why online bullying has become a huge problem in high schools, and people are starting to act on it. Students are starting to get reprimanded for things like that. But this is an example of not a school, not children, the outside world. These are grown, educated, professional adults commenting on a photo that was taken in the workplace.
They're educated.
extremely-
These are professionals.
And from what I read, the employee was
He was
He was
fired.
fired for what they said, other reasons. But I feel like the bigger thing to look at here is what he considers acceptable, or what each person considers acceptable. It's like your social media, your Facebook is a representation of you, of your world, your ideas, your beliefs. So you have to groom that, and you have to take care of it. Like if somebody makes a nasty comment about one of my photos, if I'm in a bikini or something, I delete it, or I will delete them. And that's what you have to maintain. It's like that's his friend base. So if they're saying these things and they're behaving that way, that's your responsibility to respond to it and take it off.
Right.
Yeah.
And the only question I have in this situation is when a photo or video goes viral.
Exactly.
Now you have thousands, sometimes even up to 1 million comments there. And it's
I wish.
it's very difficult to police that and remove. So my question is, in that situation, what did the company expect from that employee? What would he have done to prevent them from firing him? Whether it was one single comment,
all he had to
was
do.
a single comment
That's
enough?
it.
Was it enough?
It's
in that
not
situation.
two things he did wrong. First of all, why are you taking a picture with someone else's kid like that, right? And then, because it was like a photo meant to mock.
So it didn't
How do you
look
know?
like an
Because he
innocent
said
selfie.
he is feral. He was feral or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you're mocking someone's kid.
Wow.
Come on, dog.
Wow.
People die for stuff like that. People get killed
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
talking of people. There's this amazing photo of this like Haitian mom with this like a sword knife to this cop's throat and like protecting her kid. Like that's like a natural instinct, you know? And number two, he allowed all those racist comments without like I personally don't delete anyone's comment on my Facebook no matter how mean or whatever it is, but I will respond, or if someone writes something mean to someone else, I intervene. I'm like, that's not okay. Debate is okay, but just blatant offensiveness is not on my Facebook or anywhere on my social media. And the thing is, when it comes to this, he didn't say anything to stop it. And if he had done that, this would have been a different conversation. Had he simply wrote the words, "Hey guys, not cool."
You know what?
That's it.
Anyone with half of a heart would have done that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
know,
GK.
anyone with half of a heart.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And
Terrible
before
person.
this gets me too mad, yo, I need some words of the week to lighten my mood, bro.
This is Mr. GK, and these are my words of the week. There are two types of time: when something is supposed to happen, and when you want something to happen. Know the difference, Mr. GK.
Did you just comfort me because it
Yeah.
was about time?
Yeah.
Yo, because I'm the worst when it comes to time. You guys know this. You know what I'm saying?
You were the worst. He somehow passed on his time. What's the word?
Lack of time management.
His lack of time management onto me. But what
It's
I was
contagious. You're trying to make
It
it
was
sound like it's
contagious.
STD.
I
It's
used
not an
to
STD.
literally be so mad at you for being late, and now I just know you're going to be late. Today he texted me and was like, "Oh, I'll be there outside in 10 minutes." 40 minutes later. 40 minutes.
Yo, listen.
Luckily I did listen to that and stand outside waiting.
Yeah, why would you stand outside ever?
Because I thought I'd be
I'll
there.
text you
and
when I'm
ready.
there,
Well,
bro.
I know that now. I
Yeah.
didn't even
She
get
used to
angry.
stand outside like
You have
yo.
a point, Stephanie. You're exposing her to danger.
She's inside her house. She's not doing anything.
She's waiting outside.
You know what I'm
for you,
saying?
and she
But you
looks this
wasted my
beautiful.
time. What
Yeah,
makes
but
you think
that's-
that my time is less valuable than your time?
Here's the thing.
But-
I think that should be a talking point.
But what the words
yes,
of the
about
week,
timeliness and respect.
I wasn't
wait,
I
wait,
wasn't
wait,
speaking
wait,
on
Alright, why
I
don't you
wasn't
guys
speaking
talk?
on punctuality. I was speaking on patience. Okay. When
Thank you.
want something to happen when something's supposed to happen. So maybe you wanted Tehran to come at noon, but he was supposed to
Patience.
come.
All good
I went.
things come to
And
those who wait.
Tehran is a very patient person, and sometimes
Listen.
I have to read these words to myself because I can tend to be an
Are you
impatient
excusing
person.
his tardiness
It's
by
not
saying
that-
other
listen,
building
can I
patience
explain
in
something?
other people?
Pretty
Mr.
much.
GK,
Are you
my
seriously
buddy.
trying that right
Mr.
now?
GK,
Yes.
have you seen this before? You've been
Real friends look
we've
out for
been
friends.
friends for over 15 years. Have you seen? Listen, I'm late, but I'm somehow exactly on time.
Now,
No,
I'm
you're
gonna,
not.
I'm
No,
gonna tell
no,
you a
I
story.
am. Why?
Let me tell you a story. It was a summit for the Icon
I'm
Network,
sure he has several stories. Yeah,
and Tehran and I were running an hour and a half late.
easy.
And
I
I
know
was
what
ready.
this is.
I was waiting. He got to my house an hour late, and then we showed up, and it took us 30 minutes to get there. Right when we walked in, the room was dead, silent. Everyone was, had just sat down, and the food was right about to be served, and that's when we walked in.
Why? Because if we'd been there, we would have just been waiting around for
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
Not
Like,
talking to anybody
I
interesting.
have a natural inkling. I have a natural knack, a natural instinct for when to be somewhere on time.
He knows.
The concert.
So Tehran was hosting a concert for my super amazing birthday party that he threw me. That he invited Stephanie, and she didn't show up to.
Didn't
And-
get an invite.
And we showed up to the. We had to stop on the way and go to the mall and get freshed up and all that.
I had to stop by. I got shirts made. We went and bought stuff. They've been calling me since 11. Where are you?
And then I wanted to buy these cool sunglasses that took the longest, and Tehran nagged me about it the entire ride there. But what happened was we show up to the concert, and Tehran is now 2.5 hours late to a concert.
He's not even. Hold on. 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours late. That's
Thank you.
right, to a concert that
I'm hosting
he's hosting.
this mega concert.
So he was
of me.
getting all types of phone calls. We get
Text,
there.
everything.
The valet lady, there's a miscommunication for the backstage access. Finally,
We
'cause his name
Devo
is-
ourselves back in.
Devo ourselves
We
back
just
in.
go in. We're
And-
like, yo.
And right when Tehran got there, people start walking in.
People came in.
Everyone was late.
It was already late, and then as soon as I got there, all I had to do was grab the mic. I was right on time to go
It
start.
was a perfect time.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky that that happened.
Hey,
So
Or
these,
is
these
it- or
are
is it
two
the universe?
examples. These
Or
are
is
two
it
examples, and
universe?
there's 365
The universe.
days in a year.
Universe.
And these
the
are
universe speaks through me. I let the universe be my alarm clock. I don't even set alarm clocks. I just wake up.
I'm
If
gonna
up, I'm
I'm
up.
gonna teach you a new word. Are you ready for this?
Is it lascivious? Say lascivious.
Narcissism.
Oh.
Narcissism.
I like that word. It reminds me of how great I am. What does that mean? It sounds like. What does that mean? It means how. What? It sounds. Say it again.
I feel like it's just a description of your personality.
Oh!
Yo, but
Whoa.
maybe, but here's the thing. I listen, and I feel like this, and I explain this to people all the time. I am the star of my movie. Okay, this is my movie. I'm the star of it. I'm never going to cut myself. You know what I'm saying? The only people who get cut, like you're not a star. You're not the co-star. You could be in the credits, but I'm the star of my
Yeah,
movie.
but you could jeopardize future possibilities by pissing people off, to be honest with you.
I mean, have you seen this happen yet?
Not yet. But.
That doesn't happen. So basically what Tehran's saying is
I like the
he's
universe.
popping, and what's popping or stopping?
Yo, that's true. Hold on, I'm popping.
Smooth.
Okay, popping or stopping?
Smooth, right?
Popping or stopping this week?
Yeezy Boost. Kanye's shoes. He had a first initial launch, and now he has
Yeezy
since
Boost
then released two more. One in the low top, one in the high top with the zipper.
If you don't know, go Google the
Go
pictures.
Google them. The high
I
top
asked.
has a zipper and it's a suede nude tone, and the low top is a sporty, almost zebra black and white tone, which is really cool. And we want to know what you think about it. We're going to tell you what we think about the Yeezy Boost.
Do you know what?
now.
Do you guys know what?
Yeah, I googled it.
Okay, so they're like $1,500.
Oof.
Well,
Oh, now people resell them for like.
well, they're
$15,000
reselling
'cause
them
they-
for all the way up to, believe it or not, $15,000
Jeez.
on eBay.
Jesus.
For the ones that are difficult to find, but you can get them retail about $249.99 prior to tax and shipping, which I think is pretty expensive. Or
Very
they may be in that range. I'm not quite
I'm
sure.
not buying any $250 shoes in general. Like the most I spend on shoes is for my basketball shoes because I actually use them the most, and I'll pay like around 60 or 70. I've never bought like $100 basketball shoes. I just don't think anything should be that high of a price. It's not like for me to pay $250 or let alone $15,000. Like $15,000, your shoe has to give me a blowjob every week. Like it's got to reach up and just tickle my balls as I walk. Like there's got to be something for
You can just buy a
$15,000.
pair of shoes and a prostitute to walk with you all the time.
For
That would still be
15,000,
cheaper.
That would be so much
for
cheaper.
15,000, I could literally purchase a human being. Unfortunately, off Craigslist, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't agree with that price range. But I do have to admit they do look really cool. So I'm gonna give it a pop. And if you can afford it, why not? Pop it.
I didn't realize I had that much money. Now I'm like, oh, is it a stopping? But they're kind of cute, so I say pop into.
I know, I'm gonna stop.
You're gonna
Then
stop
after
with the
this,
Yeezys?
Yeah. I'm more into heels.
Oh yeah, I get
So
that.
I
Yeah.
spend that on heels.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that wear heels. I live in WeHo, and so I can understand that. But what about for regular guys that just want to not wear heels?
I still say stop. I see some other ones I like better for that.
I'm gonna give them a poppin', and my piggy bank is almost full. So when it is, I'm getting my Yeezy Boost.
Are you really gonna buy Yeezys? Really?
I really like
Sheesh.
the suede nude, and they even have red ones.
They're the high tops.
The high tops, yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh,
Alright.
we can't wait to see them.
Top 5.
Top 5 majestic, magical, mythical places that you would go to.
Majestic, magical, mythical. You forgot mystical.
And mystical. Oh, there's 4 now because I added majestic.
Well, there's actually only one. Top 5 mythical lands, fictional lands you would live in. Who wants to go first?
Would you like to go first?
Okay,
I'm
ladies
like,
first.
I'm on the pressure.
You can think. You don't
No,
have
no,
to.
I know. I think I know.
Go.
So the first one would have to be Candyland.
Candy. Ooh,
Yeah.
good one.
I love Candy.
I didn't even think
I
about
love
that one.
Candy,
Good
yeah.
one.
Like clouds. Second one, Scooby Doo. Could I live like in the show
Yes,
Scooby
you
Doo?
can live in
And I
Scooby-Doo
could solve the mysteries all day long
You
and
could
like
be
debunk
one of
ghosts.
the, yeah.
I mean, that's all I have.
You need 3 more. We need 3 more.
Okay,
It's tough.
Narnia.
Oh, that's
Narnia.
Narnia. I was
Narnia was
Narnia.
on, right?
Yeah, Narnia.
And then what was that one? If it was that land, like the never-ending story with the dog and like
Oh
he rode
yeah,
on top
the
of the dog.
never-ending story.
Never
Yes.
Ending. It's on
Yeah,
mine too.
I want to ride on top of that dog the whole time.
yeah. The flying.
Yeah, like fly through the
I
sky.
used to love that movie.
Yeah, great movie.
One more.
Yeah, that one. A Star Wars.
Star Wars.
That would be
movie.
cool,
Okay, I
right?
can
You could be a
understand
stormtrooper all day long.
that. I can understand that. Oh, that works. Mr. GK?
Number 5, I would grow up in Stephanie's world in England with her.
That's actually a real world. She actually lived. Never mind. Okay,
It
number
would
4.
change if I were there, therefore it would not be
Number 4.
real, it would be fiction. Number 4 would be the land of the Care Bears.
Okay.
Because I care a lot, there would be a lot of love, a lot of fun times, freedom of expression and joy. Number 4 would be my mythological street that I'm creating called Cinnamon Valley Avenue, which I talked about on the show before.
Okay, that'll count. I'll let that slide. Cinnamon Valley count.
Yes, that one. Number 2 on my list. We've all seen Sesame Street. I would love to grow up in Sesame Street.
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
number 1, I would go back in time to the 90s and be one of the main cast members on Saved by the Bell.
That's
oh,
awesome.
that's a
Back in
good
NC
one.
Slater.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
one.
would want to go to
Yeah.
school there.
Cool. Steph?
I would be. What was the song with Beyonce that she did for Austin Powers?
Can you pay my bills, pay my telephone bills? Bootylicious?
No, the one where she played when it was
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't
Austin
remember it
Powers,
right
and she had the big fro.
Cool,
it was
yeah.
that time. Okay,
now.
that would be number 5.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Number 4 would be. Does this count being on a rainbow?
It counts.
Are there
Go for
Care
it.
Bears on
Is
the
it
rainbow?
rainbow?
Living on a rainbow.
Oh,
Just
that would be
genuinely
cool.
a
Cool.
rainbow.
Oh, I like that.
Number 4 would be Barbie Land.
Well, that was
Oh.
That's this is
Number
number
3.
3. Yeah.
I get it. Be a Barbie Land. Number 2 would be Neverending Story as well. I loved Atreyu, the horse and stuff.
We can write on the dog together.
Yeah, I love that dog. And number 1, I live. What's happening?
And we can write on the dog together.
The dog, not the frog.
The
It's
dog,
a
I
big,
know,
huge
I
dog. It
just-
would be
Yeah.
so much
Okay,
fun.
so what's
Actually,
number
Is it
1?
like Clifford?
Huge
Yeah.
eyelashes. No, it's like
Number
very
1.
flying dog. Number 1. I'd love to be in a fun fair, like just candy floss, rides, just constant.
West Hollywood?
fun.
Yo, I swear George is rubbing off on you. No, it's just, it's so good.
Why?
West Hollywood
Not West
Halloween
Hollywood,
parade.
like,
It's the
No,
same. It's
that's
basically
simply torture.
that's not fictional. That's real. It happens Halloween. It will happen this year on the 31st.
But it
will-
is
and it's
majestic.
crazy.
I want to go for a hayride. We should go.
Okay. Number 5, I'm going to go with the land of John Hughes. John Hughes, for you guys who don't remember, like 16 Candle, Breakfast Club, all
Oh
those
yeah.
things.
Okay.
I would love to be like in that,
Yes,
in his fictional land he had created. Number 4, The Simpsons. They lived in Springfield. I would have lived in Springfield. That might be fun.
Yeah.
The illustrator of
he
The
likes
Simpsons was in
Springfield.
high school.
I think I would like Springfield. Number 3, Middle Earth. I feel like I could take over. I really do. I feel like, I'm watching the movies and I'm like, dog, I could have messed that dude's an idiot. I could win. Like Frodo, I would have just, give me the goddamn ring. Like I just walked up to Frodo, like, son, give me the goddamn ring, Frodo. Bitch ass Frodo. The ring on. Number.
You're such a bully.
I'm not.
George is not happy.
Number 2. Number 2.
He hurt my feelings.
How did I hurt your feelings?
Because I was just so mean and hateful.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And number 2, I would live in
Leave Frodo alone.
Harry Potter land. I would go to Hogwarts.
Oh.
But all those students, they're like, oh, I hate potions. I would learn everything. I would become Lord Tyrannomort. And I would just,
You think of
Yo.
he has his name already.
dog, I would just, like, Harry Potter, just like, I'd just shove his little lightning ass head fuck out of
Sounds
here.
like a totalitarian.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next one.
You are
Huh?
so mean in
Yeah.
your fantasies.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
Guys, I just feel like these lands need to be taken over. And then my number 1 is I would live in my head.
Oh,
The fictional land that is in my head. I love it.
there we go. Oh, I just thought of one, Sweet Valley High, but then that's pretty much LA, isn't it? That's
Basically
just,
is
I live
LA.
in Sweet
Notice how
Valley.
none of us said heaven.
That.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Why
we're
is
all
every time we
pieces.
do this?
Oh, first of
So
all,
heaven-
it's probably because I'm going to hell. But most of all, it's like, do we count that as a fictional place?
Well, I'm going there anyway, so I don't need to count it.
You
Yeah.
may.
You fell from there.
Okay. All right. So the what would you do if this week is what would you do if you went on a date and the person you went on a date with was using their phone like a lot,
It's
like
happened.
noticeably a lot.
To me, it's
And
happened.
what happened?
I'll call them out on it. I haven't got time for that. Why are you wasting my time? Like, we're here together, put the phones down. Absolutely appreciate you've got businesses to run and, things don't stop because you're on a date. But let's have some respect for the other person here. So absolutely not.
I feel like Mr. GK would do that because you do that when we hang out. You're
Well.
on your phone so much that your phone dies every single day.
You
It's
may
just an iPhone.
like to know that I was recently on a date and we romantically texted one another the entire time. And it was
Weren't you? Weren't you
You were on the date
sitting
with
in front of each
person,
other?
and
So-
you were texting each other.
Why?
Hold on, what was the sexiest text sent during this? Now I
well,
want to know.
I was pretending that I was a knight in medieval times.
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
Okay. You do
Right.
realize that knights in medieval time don't have cell phones. They can't.
It's
text.
pretend. It's like the magical world in your head.
Yeah, this
Exactly.
isn't. This is actually not like a magical world.
Yeah, we're like
guys.
crossing over.
This is
And
this
I feel
is
like if a guy
the fictional
went,
land of psychotic